And we're live.
I don't know.
So are you just basically being like, if you want to have your girlfriends over, you're footing the bill?
Yes.
For the wine and the seltzers and whatever.
I don't know. I think I'd pitch in for the wine.
Really?
That's
your choice.
I found that my enjoyment of wine is directly tied to the person I'm drinking it with. Where if like they're drinking it and they're like, "This is really good wine," I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so. I guess it is good," but it I don't know enough, so it's like I'm being fooled a bit, just other people's perception. The same way that movie Sideways with Paul Giamatti that came out in like 2000.
I love that movie.
It is a great movie. First time I saw that, I don't even think I'd ever even had wine. It did
fantastic acting,
very often, but like,
what was the movie again? It's
called Sideways.
Sideways with Paul Giamatti.
It's a drama. It's like a romantic comedy drama type thing. But fantastic acting. It made me love Paul Giamatti. Yeah. And that Asian lady with the face flattered in the stable.
And he's pretty good, but he rips on Merlot, which is, a very popular kind of wine, I guess. And apparently like that next season of wine purchasing, like Merlot tanked and like his Pinot Noir or whatever, like what he liked went up really high. And I was like, this whole sommelier thing is bullshit. Everybody's pretending. This is the cigar racket all over again. With I don't think anybody enjoys cigars that much.
I didn't know what the cigar racket was.
It's because every time, like maybe once a year, I'll go golfing with my dad or do something with my dad, and he'll be like, "Oh, cigars," because he apparently likes them. And it's every time I'm like, "This is going to be the time that it's like I get it." Never. It's always you get a third of the way through, and you're like, "This is going to be another 45 minutes."
I got really into cigars, like several years back. We were in Vegas, and I don't remember which hotel. I never do, but they had a cigar bar downstairs that had like a walk-in humidor and like a really fancy cigar place. And I went in and I was looking at all, and it smells really nice when you walk into one of those walk-in humidors.
They do.
Like the tobacco smells great. And I bought these. They're not like the big fat fucking cigars. I don't like those. I feel like I'm sucking a cock. Which nothing wrong with that. I just don't want to, not all day,
Right. Yeah. If it's going to be too slow, it's not good.
Yeah.
No.
And so I would get the ones that are like, I don't know, they're big, much bigger than a cigarette. They're about the size of like a Swisher or something like that. Like pinky size. Yeah. I get the cigarillos. They're still brown, and I would get the flavored ones. Because that's what I wanted. Like, I don't care what anybody thinks about my cigar purchase. I would get vanilla and cherry and stuff like chocolate and coffee, and those were my favorite ones. And I would get like a dozen of each. I had them in my humidor at home, and I really liked them. I would get nice and stoned, and I'd whip out one of those and I had my fancy cigar cutter and my fancy cigar lighter and punch and everything. I go, all the paraphernalia, and offer them to my guests. Smell
like wonderful if you're sitting next to somebody smoking a cigar. Like, they really do smell nice.
Taylor, I agree completely. I didn't want to interrupt, but I've been waiting to say that same thing. Like, I've tried cigars a couple times, but I haven't really given them a chance to like acquire a taste. But if someone else is smoking a cigar, sometimes I find that enjoyable.
Yeah.
I can remember being at the poker table, and this asshole is smoking a nasty fucking cigar at the end of the table.
Nasty because it smelled bad to you?
It smelled bad, and it looked atrocious. It was, first of all, it was fat. It looked like a dill pickle. And he's puffing on this big, fat, meaty cock, and it's coming unwound at the end and like falling apart in his mouth, and he's just gnawing at it, and it's all soggy and spitty and just soaked with spit, and he's just nom, just sucking his dick over there. And there's just smoke every fucking where. And I remember my dad being like, "That's it. He's like, what? The cigar's got to go, or you got to go." and he was like, "What, really?" And like 3 other people went, "Yeah, really. Yeah." Yeah. Like, I didn't want to say anything, but if Lamar says it, then yeah, you got to fucking go, dude. It's we've had enough of that. And like the old guy who never talks, who's just kind of like a mean, ornery fuck at the other end of the table, he's just like, "I've had enough of it too."
Even Earl's speaking up. I remember I was on a plane. God, I think it was maybe when I was little and I was going to Disney World, and I was on the plane, And I think I was Isle, my mom, and then this big fat guy who had a cigar in his mouth. My mom hated smoke and the smell of it and everything because my grandparents smoked constantly. And he was like, he took out this huge cigar, the same kind you're describing, like a full pickle, not a quarter, not a slice, not a segment, full thing. And he pops in his mouth, and he could like tell my mom was like, what this is Southwest, like, and he goes, "Don't worry, I never light the things. Disgusting habit." And then puts it in his mouth, and he ate the entire cigar over the course of the way from St. Louis to Orlando or whatever. And it was just like, he had shit in his teeth. It was disgusting. Like I didn't understand at the time because I would like be playing probably Pokemon on my Game Boy, and then look over and see he had most of a cigar. Look back, fight another gym leader. Now it's that much, and he's got cigar juice all over his mouth, and there's like little weeds. Like this is a 50-year-old man.
So I went to a bachelor party. This is like 100 years ago. I was probably 21 or something. And the strippers at this bachelor party, like you might, if you're listening to this, think of strippers that you've seen at like a strip club where they go topless maybe or whatever. No, these chicks were like fucking each other with double-ended dildos, and like it was next level.
Ass to ass.
Yeah, yeah.
Ass
And
to ass.
it wasn't even hot. I don't know. Like no one really liked it. We were all like, they could have been hotter, but something about it, like they were just working. I don't know. No one dug it. And anyway, they put the cigar in this chick's pussy, and they're like, "Who wants it? Who wants it?" And I'm like, I want it even less now.
You ruined it.
That's good. Did someone want it though?
No, nobody wanted it.
That's hilarious if no one wanted it. Like, who wants it,
Kyle, there were two
pussy.
strippers and a bodyguard, and the bodyguard was this fucking butch chick who probably could have taken half of us. And maybe I'm exaggerating, but she was butch as fuck. And somehow two girls just fucking each other, making out, double-ended dildos, everything flopped as an act. Everyone was like, "You want to go outside?" You know, like you wouldn't think strippers could flop, but they did.
I'm not a fan of watching. I want, you know, like sex isn't really a spectator sport for me. Like I want to get involved. Like let's go. Like I don't want to watch them. And I really don't want to watch them with you there, Woody. Like I enjoy doing a lot of things with Woody, but I don't need him there for the sex show.
Not the one time we tried it. What was I gonna say? Oh, so they did do stuff where like a guy was in a chair and they would like tease him and stuff, but he wasn't supposed to touch back. But
I like that even less.
Right? Like all that.
That's worse than the lesbian show.
Yeah, it wasn't working. The whole act flopped.
You know, I would rather watch like a really good magician.
Oh, I would too. Or a really good animal handler.
Are we getting old, guys?
What if a guy came out and he had like, you know, like a fucking like some sort of exotic cat, like one of those with like a lynx or something, and maybe a little capuchin and like I don't know, some couple
what
critters.
If you brought 9 animals in succession and they just got cooler and cooler.
That's what
I'd like that. And you're like, we're all like nudging each other. You think there's a monkey in there? Yeah. You think the last thing's gonna be a fucking monkey, dude?
That's a dog kennel. You know he's not saving a dog for the end.
I can just imagine how much everybody would be.
He's putting the gloves on. He's putting the gloves on.